Welcome to the finals of Chai Latte, the Nexus India quiz for schools. You have all taken part in the prelims, which is done on our online platform, Knowledge Vyasa, right? You are the top qualifiers from this prelims, which we had. I think we had over 150 school kids taking part. So very happy to see the participation, plus some amazing scores, to be honest. We are really impressed by some of the scores you guys have put out, right? So this is I think the third in a series of quizzes we have done so far, right? And the second for schools. Let's quickly go on. Yes, this quiz is of course brought to you by Nexus Consulting. Most of you know us. We are a Bangalore-based company, right? If you want to do a quiz, please contact us, right? We are in the business of quizzing, as it were. Right. Before we start, one small thank you to our sponsors. We have actually one sponsor who has generously given us the prize money for the event. She prefers not to be named. She just wants to be called a friend of Nexus. He's a quiz enthusiast from the Netherlands. So thank you very much. Right. She's the reason we have great prizes this time. On that note, let me tell you what the prizes are. Right. We have obviously certificates for all our finalists, and we have 6,000 rupees in cash prizes. The winner gets 2,000, the runner-up gets 1,500. The second runner-up gets 1,000, fourth gets 500, and you have 5 to 8, which get 250 rupees each, right? So good cash to play for. Right, before I start, one plug for our general awareness series called Quest, right? Quest is our at-home GK program, right? It's a thing, it's available for children from classes 1 to 9. So go to our website, subscribe to it. It's a fun, interesting way to learn things. Yes, the other thing this is our, I think the third year we are coming out with our Nexus calendar, right? The 2021 calendar is ready. It's on sale now on our website, right? Please go take a look. And if you like it, there are a lot of interesting date-related trivias from history, entertainment, etc. Right? So if you're into that sort of thing, please take a look, right? Right, going on. First question of the quiz or finals goes to Abhineet. Abhineet, here's your question. This is paraphrased from a work retracing a momentous event, a 420-page photo book titled 23 Grams of Dash. It started at a tree that this person had named Sarvasakshi Amli, or the all-witnessing tamarind. At a little distance was Ellis Bridge. There was a lot of deliberation on whether it was okay to cross the bridge. It was felt that walking on it may not send the right message because it is built by the British. That bridge was crossed, so to speak. The first night was spent at a dharamshala in the village of Aslali. So who named this tree, right? You have that Sarvasakshi Amli, or the all-witnessing tamarind. Who's the person who named this tree? And what is this blank, right? Which is something very closely related to this event. You can see that, a lot of deliberation, people were going somewhere. So what is that event, right? Or you can tell me that event or what the blank is. They're closely related. The length of the blank is roughly indicative, right? So it's not a very long word. And who named the tree?
Can I
Please,
answer?
all yours.
Is it Mahatma Gandhi, and is it 23 grams of salt for the Dandi March?
Perfect answer. That'll give you full 10 points. Excellent start, Abhineet. Right? This is indeed Mahatma Gandhi. And this is, of course, the Dandi March we're talking about. 23 grams of salt, which is what Gandhi went to Dandi for. Excellent answer. Right? 10 points to Abhineet. Adim, you got that?
Yes, got that.
Great. Thank you. And question number 2 to Garv. Right. We have an image coming up there. Don't worry, I have a bigger image. This is the logo of J&K Bank. J&K as in Jammu and Kashmir. What do the three pieces represent? You can in the image. The blank spaces in between the pieces forms the outline of a creature that represents strength, speed, and empowerment and is associated with local culture or folklore. So what is this creature? I'll show you a bigger image. Right. You can see those three pieces there in three different colors. And in the gap between those three pieces, you can see the outline of a creature. So what is that creature? Right. I'll just say on the image for a while and then go back to the question.
Yeah, so can I try?
Yeah, all yours. Go for it.
Does it show Garuda, the mythical bird, and The
Okay.
pieces show the old flag of Jammu and Kashmir.
The old flag of Jammu and Kashmir. Okay. That's not quite right. I'll pass you to Jatin.
Okay, I would like to make a guess that the bird that is shown is a falcon. Okay.
Falcon. Okay.
Okay, and the three pieces signify Jammu, Kashmir, and Ladakh, and the interaction is forming a falcon there.
I'll give it to you. Well done. That's an excellent answer, right? So, right, it's Jammu, Kashmir, Ladakh, right, and not just the flag, right? The flag doesn't really look like this. That's an excellent answer, Jatin. You can take 10 points. And falcon. A falcon is something that is very much associated with Jammu Kashmir's, history, culture, etc. So, great answer. Well done. So 10 points to Jatin, no points to Garv. And next question goes to Kushagra. Kushagra, here's your question. This was achieved for the first time in world cricket in December 1997 at the nondescript MIG cricket ground in Bandra in Mumbai. The most common answer to this question or record would state that it was achieved in Gwalior in 2010. So I want the two people who are involved in these firsts in order. The first one in 97, the second in 2010. So just two names. Again, surnames will do. Kushagra, all yours.
I have no idea. I pass.
Take a guess. Like I said, no negs.
I can't think of anything.
You don't know a single cricketer, is it?
I know a few, but then they don't match.
Okay.
Is this Kapil Dev and someone?
And who's the someone?
I'm not sure.
But okay, it's okay. Give me. You said Kapil Dev, so give me another name.
Saurav Ganguly.
Saurav Ganguly. Okay. Not quite. I'll pass you, Nitish.
Yes, so the record here is the first 200 runs, the 200 runs scored in ODI. The first person is Belinda Clark, a woman cricketer who scored it for Australia. Second is Sachin Tendulkar.
Brilliant answer. Perfect 10 points. That's exactly what I was looking for. Right? Belinda Clark and Sachin Tendulkar. These are respectively the first double centuries in women's and men's ODI cricket. Typically, when everybody thinks that Sachin was the first to score a double century in ODI cricket, but he was only the first in men's ODI cricket, right? Belinda Clark managed it like 13 years before Sachin. And, she's kind of forgotten, although she deserves to be remembered. Excellent answer, Nitish. That gets you 10 points. And the next question to Pranav. Right. You see two people here. You can identify either of these people. So the two of them are, actually, I'm going to make it slightly tougher. Identify both people, right? Identify both people seen here. The two of them are the first and till date, the latest, and they are, separated by 70 years. In what list are they the first and the latest?
Do I get part points if I name either one of them?
Yeah, sure.
Like if I give the name of one person, do I get?
Yes, you get part points.
Okay. Just 1 second.
So the two of them are the first, and the other guy is the latest in a list that spans 70 years. You can make out who's the first, who's the latest.
Okay. The first person on the right is Jair Bolsonaro, the president of Brazil. These are the list of prime ministers who have been invited to India's Republic Day parade.
Right. Who have been invited in India's Republic parade. Okay, go on. Who's the other guy?
The first person is. I'm going to guess the Prime Minister of France.
Okay. Moving on to Suwan.
So my turn, right? Yeah. So the person on the left is Sukarno.
It's my turn. I'm sorry, it's my turn. I'm 7. I'm on 7. Suvansh.
Yeah, I know. I called for Suvansh. Who started?
Yes, Udbhav. Udbhav has given. He was saying the answer.
Cool. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So the person on the right is President Sukarno, Prime Minister Sukarno, who was the Prime Minister of Indonesia, and this. Yes, sir.
Who is Sukarno in this?
The person on the left. I'm sorry, the person on the left, and the person on the right is Jair Bolsonaro, Prime Minister of Brazil. And these are the prime ministers to be invited to the Republic Day parade 70 years apart. That's what I would like to guess.
What are they doing at the Republic Day parade?
The chief guest.
I'll give you 10 points, right? As simple as that. Udbhav and everybody else, please don't jump unless I have called out your name, right? You might end up helping other people, unfortunately. Right?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't know the order properly.
You don't have to be sorry. You just gave away points. I'm totally okay with that. It's like end of the day, it's your points. That's all you have to remember, right? So just play safe. Right. So Suvansh is indeed right. Right. This is Sukarno and Jair Bolsonaro. Not technically prime ministers. Bolsonaro is the president of Brazil. But of course, these guys have been the chief guests of at the Republic Day parade. So perfect 10 points to Suvansh. Pranav gave me 2 of the 3 parts, so he's going to get 7 points, right? 7 points to Pranav and full 10 points to Suvansh. Well done. Udbhav, now's your chance to answer. Right. From this picture set in the late 15th century, identify the name given to the ruler on the right. Over 100 of them ruled from 1300 to 1806 and all were known by the same name. Also identify the European traveler on the left. The scene of the meeting is somewhere in South India, right? I have a bigger image, right? The way the guy on the right is dressed might be slightly misleading, but he's in South India, which is the key thing, right? We are not looking for a name per se. It's more of a title, to be clear. So what is the title and identify this traveler. Right, Udbhav, all yours.
Okay, so for the ruler on the right, I'm going to the Nawab of Arcot.
The Nawab, okay.
Nawab of Arcot, and the traveler on the left. I'm not sure. I think it's someone from France.
Someone from France. Interesting, but not quite. I'll go to Abhineet.
Could you just go to the picture once?
Sure.
Is it the Maharaja of Travancore and is it Vasco da Gama?
The Maharaja of Travancore and Vasco da Gama. Okay. Not quite, Abhineet. I'll pass to Garv.
I'll pass.
Take a guess. You've heard so many guesses so far. I think you can take a guess. There are no negs.
Is the meeting place Hyderabad?
Hyderabad, okay. But I just want the, the ruler and
traveler. I'll pass.
You're passing. Okay, fine. Jatin?
I would guess this is the Asaf Jahi dynasty, the Nizams of Hyderabad.
Okay.
The traveler, I don't know, but it is somewhat Asaf Jahi dynasty and the Nizams of Hyderabad.
Asaf Jahi dynasty and the Nizams and so on. Not quite. Kushagra?
Yeah, so is the ruler the Peshwas of Maharashtra and the traveler Vasco da Gama?
Traveler Vasco da Gama and what is the Peshwas? What did you say?
Yeah, the Peshwas.
Okay, not quite. Nitish?
I'm pretty certain the person on the left is Vasco da Gama. I think I'll go with the guess that the person is the Nizam of Hyderabad.
The Nizam of Hyderabad. Okay, not quite. Pranav?
So yeah, the person on the left is Vasco da Gama. The person on the right is the Zamorin of Kozhikode. Vasco da Gama came to Kozhikode, and he first messed with this ruler.
Brilliant answers. I'll give you the full 10 points. Well done. That is the answer we are looking for, right? A lot of people identified Vasco da Gama, but that was the Zamorin or Samudri of Calicut, right? He was the ruler of Calicut, northern Malabar at that time, right? Excellent answer. So full 10 points to Pranav. Who said Vasco da Gama first?
Abhineet said.
Okay, Abhineet. Okay, fine. So I will give 5 points to Abhineet and the full 10 points to Pranav for an excellent answer. Well done. Right, that's a Zamoran or Zamotri. And the next question goes to Swansh. Swansh, here's yours. Here's your question. Many of us would have experienced it. It was seen as an activation of so-called press points. It is seeing a wide resurgence among the urban populace, among men. The bills traditionally have had a gokru designed to look like a fruit. The Cinchoria is popular in Gujarat. A bhik bali was prominently used by the lead star in a 2015 movie. What are all of these? We have mentioned a gokru, a Cinchoria, a bhik bali. What are these? Right? Which is this 2015 movie? I'll give you a clue. It's a 2015 Bollywood movie, right? So, it was a pretty big movie from that year. So, what are these things? And just give me the name of a movie. That's all I'm looking for. As simple as that. So, Suvan, it's all yours. Right, Suvansh?
I would guess that these are devices used for acupuncture, I guess. And I don't have an idea of which 2015 movie is it.
Okay.
So I like to pass on this.
Okay, you're passing. We'll go to Uddhav.
Okay, by Bollywood, do you mean like Hindi or like other languages? Like also other languages or only Hindi?
Yeah, Bollywood Hindi movies.
Okay. The prominent this movie, I'm going with Bajrangi Bhaijaan.
Bajrangi Bhaijaan.
Yeah, and what are all of these?
So there are, if you read the question carefully, there are helpful clues. For example, it is more popular these days among men in cities, right? That's a nice clue.
Okay, so for what are all of these? Probably it's something like to wear on the neck, like not exactly a necklace, like you could say a pendant, like a pendant.
Okay, cool. So you're saying necklace and Bajrangi Bhaijaan?
Yeah, not a necklace, like a pendant, something something on a thread.
Not quite. Abhineet?
Yeah, is it something like the chain pendant type? And then is the movie PK?
PK, okay. Not quite. We'll go to Gar.
So are these all types of beards?
Beards, interesting. Okay, and the movie?
The movie can be Bahubali.
Bahubali. Nice guess, but no. We'll have to pass you. Jatin?
I guess the from the Big Bali thing, I would guess that these are the what we call ornaments that the Brahmin scholars wear. In the Peshwa, during the Peshwa period, the Big Bali I get from that. Okay, and the movie might be Bajrangi Bhaijaan.
No, where do they wear it?
No. Sorry. It would be Bajirao Mastani.
No, give me first. What?
These all are the ornaments that the Brahmins used to wear during the Peshwa period, and the movie would be Bajirao Mastani.
What sort of ornament?
Like, how can I explain?
I'm sure there are simple English words I understand. So,
like something like this, going like this.
Just give me an English word for it, and we can move on. I'm just looking for a simple English word for this.
Like, not an English word, but I can explain. I've explained like that.
Okay, explain it. How do you explain it?
That the ornaments that the Brahmins used to wear during the Peshwa period, just I can tell that.
Okay. Ornaments worn by Brahmins. Okay. I will just move. Actually, I'll be very nice and just give you the full 10 points. Well done. Take it. You came close enough. That's an excellent answer. You gave me the wrong movie first, but I'm going to ignore that for now. But in general, I'm going to take first guesses from now, right? You won't get a chance to change your guess, but let's go to the answer. Right? These are basically earrings or ear studs. That's why we particularly said there are press points, etc. Right? So, but you identify the movie correctly. Though you can see Ranveer wearing it in this photo as well. Excellent answer. Brilliant. 10 points. So 10 points to you. And the next question, Hadim, have you noted down the points?
I have.
Who's got 10 points now?
Jatin.
Okay, cool. Right, Kushagra, here's your question. The station at Madgaon in Goa was designed by a famous architect. He was a great urban planner and activist. He was a master planner of Navi Mumbai. He has done everything from luxury condos to low-income housing to colleges. Who is he? What is also interesting are the drawings adorning the walls at several places inside this building, right? Inside the station, etc. So who is the artist? So we're basically looking for two names. We'll show you the drawings, right? These are some of the type of drawings you will find inside. They're very characteristic of a famous artist. And the fact that this is in Goa should also help. So two names, Kushagra. I want the name of the architect who designed the station, and of course the artist who created these drawings. He has a very distinctive style, right? The one you see here.
Okay, so is the design, I mean the artist, RX Lakshman, and the architect, I'm not sure.
R.K. Lakshman, you said?
Yeah.
Not right. We'll pass you to Nidish.
So the architect, since I'm not very familiar, I'll go with Le Corbusier, and for the artist, I think it's very familiar with R.K. Lakshman. Even though he's a cartoonist, I think I'll go with R.K. Lakshman.
R.K. Lakshman. Okay, not quite correct. So we'll pass to Pranav.
Again, I think the artist is R.K. Lakshman. What? I am not sure about the architect.
Okay, not sure of the architect. Okay, Suvansh.
I would guess the architect is M. Vishveshwaraya, and the architect is M. Vishveshwaraya, and the artist is R.K. Lakshman.
Okay, nice guess. But we'll have to move on. Udbhav?
Okay, for the artist, I think it's some Goan artist. I forgot his name. Let me just get something. It's a Goan artist. I think it's some Miranda. Some Miranda, and the architect I'm not very sure.
Okay, you're not sure of the architect. Abhini?
Is the artist Anant Pai? I don't know about the architect.
Okay, not Anant Pai. Moving on, Gar.
I'll pass.
Take a guess. You've heard so many guesses. Take a guess.
I also think the artist is R.K. Lakshman only, but architect, I'm not sure.
Okay. Okay, then we'll go to Jatin.
For the artist, I would guess it as Charles Correa.
Charles Correa, okay.
And for the drawings, I would get that the drawing that you showed in the picture depicted the Portuguese style, like because there were men wearing that ties and all that. Because in Goa, that was like about the Portuguese, so the Portuguese style, and the artist is Charles Correa.
The artist is Charles Correa. Right? That's what he said, right? Hello?
Yes, it's Charles Correa and the Portuguese style that he showed.
Okay, artist is Charles Correa, fine.
Oh, no. Wait. I thought the second part is about the painting.
Okay.
Okay, the first part, that is who is he?
That
is Charles Correa. Artist, I don't know.
You don't know the artist.
Yeah.
Okay. I think did that start with Nidish or whose question was this?
My question was my question.
Sorry?
It was Kushagra's question, so the round is over.
No. I meant whose direct question was this?
Kushagra's question. It went all the way till Jatin. Yeah.
Okay, done. Okay, so first I'm going to give two people get part points, and if they had actually combined their answers, they would have gotten points. Who first said Mario Miranda?
I said Miranda.
Correct. Miranda, some Miranda, like you said. His name is Mario Miranda. He's one of India's greatest cartoonists. That's his style. And who said Charles Correa just now? Jatin, right? That is Charles Correa. That's an excellent answer. So actually, if you combine these two answers, you would have gotten 10 points, but you will have to be satisfied with 5 points each, right? Charles Correa, one of modern India's greatest architects. He died very recently, a few years ago. And Mario Miranda is like, if you have not seen his cartoons, please go look them up, right? He has a very distinctive style. What you see here is replicated across many of his cartoons, right? So 5 points each. And the next question comes back to Kushagra, right?
Yes, Jatin answered the last.
Kushagra, here's your question. In 2019, the Indian Railways announced a train to link the following: Sri Keshghat Sahib in Anandpur, Sri Damdama Sahib near Bathinda, Sri Hajur Sahib in Nanded, and Sri Harbinder Ji Sahib in Patna, with a fifth destination. What is the fifth place? There's a place all of you have heard of, very famous place. And what is this train called, right? Read the question carefully. You can take a guess on what this train is called also. Kushagra, all yours.
Yeah, so is the fifth destination the Golden Temple of the Sri Harmandir Sahib, and the train has some Amritsar? And is the train called Sikh Express, or the something to do with the Sikhs?
Something to do with the Sikhs. Okay. Something to do with the Sikhs, but that's not what I'm looking for. Nidish?
Yeah, I'll also go with the Golden Temple in Amritsar. I'm not really sure what the train is called. I think it's some Sikh pilgrimage or something.
Right. Like I said, read the question and you might get a clue. Pranav?
I would also say the Golden Temple, Sri Harmandir Sahib, and just give me a second.
Right.
Before
Can I
Pranav answers, Jatin, can we see both your hands at all times? Okay. Yeah. Can you just keep it near your chin the whole time? Okay. All right.
Okay, so my guess, I'm not totally sure about this, but is it the Guru Granth Sahib Express?
Guru Granth Sahib Express. Good guess, not quite. But moving on, Swanj.
I would guess it's the Golden Temple in Amritsar, and the name would be Nanak Express or Nanak Express. Yeah.
Good guess, but no. Udbhav?
Okay, so fifth place is Sri Harmandir Sahib in Amritsar. And the train, I would like to go with Panch Sahib Express because there are 5 destinations.
Because of the 5?
Yeah, 5 destinations. So Panch Sahib Express.
Panch Sahib Express. Okay. Go to Abhineet.
Even I would go with the Golden Temple in Amritsar. Is it the Gurudwara Express?
Gurudwara Express. Okay, good. Yes, no. Garv?
So the place is Amritsar, Golden Temple, Amritsar, and is the train called Panch Takht Express?
Why?
Panch Takht Express and Golden Temple.
Why is it called the Panch Takht?
Because of the 5 places of Sikh.
Perfect. That is exactly what I'm looking for. Brilliant answer. Right? Well done. 10 points. 10 points to Garv. Take it. Right? This is the Akal Takht in Golden Temple. I'm just looking for Golden Temple, so that's fine. I'm looking for Panch Takht, and if you had not said, if nobody had said Panch Takht, I would have probably given for Panch Sahib. But this is the perfect answer. So 10 points to Garv. Well done. Kushagra, I think, said Golden Temple first, so he gets 5 points. Right, Hatim, are we good on that?
Yeah.
How many questions are left in this round?
Few more questions. Moving on. Next question goes to Jatin. Jatin, yours. Mahesh Savani is of Raparda village of Gujarat. He's a rich businessman who has interest in diamonds, realty, and education. His giving nature sets him apart from the scores of rich people in India. His brother passed away 10 years ago on the eve of a very important day in his family. This set Savani thinking, and since then, he has stepped up and performed this role 470 times. He provides extra support in the form of jewelry, clothes, and utensils too. So, what does Mahesh Savani do that he is very popular and renowned for? Jatin, all yours. Rest of you, please keep guesses ready in case it passes.
Should I say Adan, guess it or something?
Sorry?
Should I guess it?
Go for it. Go for it.
See, in recent news, I've heard that the Mahesh Savani is the daughter, is a father of 3,000 daughters. So like he marriages them like different religions thereof, but still he marriages each one of them without considering their caste or something.
I'll give it to you, right? I'll give it to you. Take the 10 points, right? He basically funds weddings of women who are in need, right? So that's why he's probably, like you said, probably called the father of so many daughters, etc. He's conducted hundreds of weddings, right? So that's good enough for me. So take 10 points, Jatin. That gets you your direct 10 questions. Sorry, 10 points. And the next question goes to Kushagra. Hobson Jobson is a, it's sort of a dictionary / book of etymology from the British era. Hobson Jobson tells us that this adjective is among the most consistently recurring Anglo-Indian colloquial terms. From its culinary roots, it has spread to a variety of applications. It is used to refer to fired clay, a house made of bricks or stone, and so on. A chef in England started using it a lot. He owns a few upmarket eateries in India. His popular dishes include a dash yellow curry and a dash jalfrezi. Following this, a number of British companies have adopted it in their names: dash pads, dash teas, and even dash dating. What is this word that continues to live in both Hindi and English today? It's a word all of us would have used, heard. And who is this chef? Again, I'm just looking for a surname. I want a word that we would have used both in Hindi and in English. And who's the chef?
Okay, so is the word kacha related to kacha roads and kacha houses? And is the chef Ramsay, Gordon Ramsay?
Gordon Ramsay. Good, great guess, but not the answer, unfortunately. Nidish?
I would like to go with tandoori. I'm not really sure about the chef.
Okay. You want to take a guess?
Again, I'll go with Ramsay.
You go with Ramsay. Okay. I'll go to Pranav.
This is just a really wild guess, but I'll go with blind and Gordon Ramsay.
So I didn't catch the word. What did you say?
Blind.
Okay. We'll move to Suvansh.
I would say tandoori, and the chef would be Gary, that guy named Gary, who runs it. I don't remember. Okay. But okay, I'll say the final answer. I think it should be tandoori, and the chef would be chef in England.
I'm interested to know what tandoori dating is, but go on.
So like, yeah, I don't think I know the chef, but yeah, so I'm gonna leave it at that.
Okay, we'll go to Uddhav.
Okay, so the word is tandoori, and the chef I would like to go with Anthony Bourdain.
Anthony Bourdain, okay. Good guess. Goes to Abhineet.
I would like to go with tandoor.
Tandoor, okay.
And Ramsay.
Ramsay. Garv?
Just a second. Fired. Yeah, so is the word Angithi?
Okay. And?
Chef, I don't know. Vikas Khanna, no.
Vikas Khanna, okay. Jatin?
For the chef, it might be Lizzie Cunningham.
Lizzie Cunningham, okay. And the word?
It might be chicken. Very bad guess. Chicken.
Okay. I think that was Kushagra's question, right? So that's done the full round. I think this is the first question of the quiz where nobody's scoring any points, right? I think all of you are going to hit yourself on the head when you see what the word is. Somebody said kacha, which is relatively the closest anybody got. It's not kacha, it's paka, right? Unfortunately, we didn't get it, or you heard paka sahib, etc. So that's the word there, right there. The chef is Jamie Oliver, right? He has a bunch of restaurants that he runs in India. He's a pretty well-known TV host, etc. So unfortunately, nobody gets points. That was Kushagra's question. Next question goes to Nitish. Nitish, here's your question. Why is a town on the banks of the river Krishna? It features lush green fields, hills, picturesque temples, and so on. Nearly everything that a certain set of professionals need. The Maharashtrian town has been involved with this profession for many years because it is an ideal version of small town India. What is the claim to fame of this popular tourist spot, right? This town is popular with a certain set of people, like I said, a certain set of professionals, because of, see what it has. It has, fields, hills, temples, etc. So that's one reason it's very popular with a set of professionals. So why is this place so famous, or what happens here? So yeah.
Since you said so that it was very popular among it was an ideal version of small town India, I would go with acting and shooting films there, because almost everything is quite necessary for shooting a film, especially.
And where would we have seen this?
I'm not exactly sure of which movie, but I think in wherever the movies are set in more like villages and all these places, I think this town is used for that purpose.
I'll give it to you. I was just randomly asking. I don't want a movie name or anything. This is indeed correct, right? This is it's one of Bollywood's most favored shooting locations, right? Like you can see the number of movies that have been shot here: Ganga Jal, Swades, Omkara, right? So over 300 movies have been shot here on location, right? Including these famous movies. The idea is that it's like Nitish explained so beautifully, right? All these things fit nicely into small town locales for movies, and a lot of Bollywood movies are therefore shot here. Well done. So 10 points to Nitish. That's an excellent answer. And the next question to Pranav. This is the last question of this round. This panel from the Mahabharata, the person doing the explaining is a key character. Later, he becomes the commander-in-chief of one of the sides in the famous 18-day war. He was born out of Yagna as an answer to his father's prayer for a son suitable for a specific task. He later fulfills this prophecy. Who is this? What is the purpose he was born to achieve?
Answer ready.
Okay, that's slightly scary, but see the image anyway. You have this guy here, and he's doing some explaining to a bunch of people. You tell me his name and what is the purpose he was born to achieve. All yours.
This is Drupada's son Drishtadyumna, and he was born out of the fire, as the question says. And his the purpose he was born, the reason why he was born is to Dronacharya had humiliated Drupada to he sent the Pandavas to capture Drupada, and Drupada was humiliated. So Drupada wished for a son who could kill Dronacharya, and that is the purpose.
So what is happening in this image?
Yeah, he can I just go back to this is Draupadi Swayamvara.
Perfect. Brilliant answer. I don't think anybody else could have explained it any better. Well done. Pranav, 10 points to you. That is Drishtadyumna, and of course he was born to kill Drona. So full 10 points to Pranav. Right. I think that's time for scores. Hatim, can you share scores with us? Right. We have our scores. Abhaneet is on 15. Garv is on 10. Jatin is on 35. Kushagra on 5. Nitish on 20. Pranav on 27. Swansh on 10. And Udbhav on 5. Great. Everybody started scoring, which is the important thing. Let's take a look at the scores. If they're okay, or if you have any disputes, this is the time to correct them. So we'll just carry on with our quiz. There are no disputes in scores. So on to the second round, right? Round number 2 is our special round. It's just pretty straightforward, actually. One direct to each finalist. We'll start with the lowest scores in the previous round. If the direct question is not answered, it's open on pounds through DM, right? I'll give you roughly 10 seconds at most. It's open for +6, -3. Uddhav, here's your question. Right. You see a stamp here. That's why this round is called Stampede. A stamp issued to celebrate the centenary of what? Right. I'm just looking for what is this the centenary of? Right. You can say centenary of dash. It's a fairly long blank, right? And the year is 1982. I'm looking for a couple of keywords, at least in your answer. So Uddhav, all yours.
Confused between two options.
Okay, can we hear those options?
Just 5 seconds. Okay, I'm going with the Darjeeling Mountain Railway.
You're going with the Darjeeling Mountain Railway.
Yeah.
Right, this is indeed the Darjeeling Himalayan Railway. So 6 points to Uddhav. Well done, Uddhav. Great answer. Good start to the round as well. Who's next? Kushagra?
Yes.
Kushagra, all yours. Here's your question. Right. This is a stamp issued to celebrate the 25th anniversary of which entity? Right. The one clue I can give is look at the image very carefully.
Yeah, so can I guess?
Yeah, go for it, Kushagra.
Is this the Ayyappan temple, the Sri Ayyappa, the entity Ayyappa, the god?
Oh, the Ayyappa, okay. So you were celebrating the 25th anniversary of a god? Not quite. So it's open on the pounds. Kushagra has not got it quite right. So people on the pounds, I'll give you 5-10 seconds and then we'll call close on the pounds. +6, -3. The 25th anniversary of an entity, right? If you look at the image carefully, there's a nice little clue also there. Okay.
I'm bouncing just a few seconds.
Pounds in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hadim, you got bounces?
Yes. First person to get this right is Garv.
Let's hear the answer.
UNESCO.
And why do you say UNESCO?
Because there is a slight hint if you look at the picture. Yeah, it shows the Indian heritage.
Correct. Not only that, there's a nice, the logo of UNESCO is practically there on the bottom.
Yeah, it has been blanked out.
Yes, it's been blanked out. So UNESCO is the right answer. This is the 25th anniversary of UNESCO. So Hadim, can you call out the scores, please?
Okay, so 6 points to Garv.
Okay, well done.
Abhineet, Suvansh, and Pranav Gautam get negatives, -3.
Guys, that's why I said please be careful. But well done, Garv. Well spotted. And the next one goes to Hadim.
Garv.
Garv. Okay, Garv, here's your question. Simple question. There's a stamp here. Which country's name is missing? 50 years of space cooperation between India and another country. Stamp issued in 2015. So this country has certain facilities India has, I think, used for launching rockets. It's still.
Yeah, can I answer?
Yeah, go on.
So the country is France.
France is the perfect answer. Well done. Well done, Garv. That's the perfect 10 points. Sorry, 6 points, my bad. So 6 points to Garv. Next is Shuvan. Shuvan's, all yours. Right, simple question. What are the blanked out words on the top right? This is, I think, one of India's earliest stamps. One of the first 3 stamps issued in India. What are the blanked out words? August 1947, 3.5 on us. Yes, Shuvansh, all yours. Give me an answer.
I would guess Satyamev Jayate.
Satyamev Jayate. So this is open on the pounds, right? It is not Satyamev Jayate, unfortunately, but good guess. It's open on the pounds. I'll give you another 5 seconds for the pounds and then we'll close it. right? Pounds closing in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right, pounds is closed. Hatim, any guesses?
Yes, we have a few.
Okay. Do one of you want to call out the answer and let's see? Yeah, one of you who is given an answer.
Is it Jai Hind?
It is Jai Hind. Well done. Right? It is Jai Hind. That's what we are looking for. This is, I think, one of the first 3 stamps released in independent India. So obviously, the most appropriate words for Jai Hind. Right? So can we have points, Hatim?
Yes. So +6 to Kushagra.
Okay.
+6 to Jatin and +6 to Garv.
Okay. Any next?
Next to Abhineet and Udbhav.
Okay, cool. Abhineet, your question. Right, simple question, again straightforward. Identify the hand-printed textile technique that is being depicted. Right, the illustration you see here is done in a particular printed textile technique. What is that technique called? As simple as that. So one word answer.
Is it chikankari?
Chikankari. Good guess, but not the right answer. So it's open on the pounce. Like I said, you will get another 10 seconds and then pounce is closed. So if anybody's bouncing, go for it. Right, pounce is closing in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes, Hatim, do we have bounces?
We have 1 pounce from Garv.
That's the only bounce. Okay, Garv, let's hear your guess. What's the guess?
This is kalamkari, right?
Kalamkari, you say, not chicken curry. Let's see the answer. It is indeed kalamkari. Well done. Excellent answer. Brilliant answer. 6 points. Well done. So 6 points to Garv. Nidish, your question on screen now. Right. This lady you see here is a former American first lady. So her husband was the president of the US, obviously. What is her name? We want her full name, right? It's Universal Declaration of Human Rights, 15th anniversary, 10th December 1963. She's one of the US most famous first ladies. She was very active in politics and social causes, etc.
Okay, so can I go with Jacqueline Kennedy?
Can you go with Jacqueline Kennedy? You can, but that's not the right answer. So it's open on the pounce. Jacqueline Kennedy is a good guess, but not quite. It's open on the pounce for 10 seconds. And we will close soon. So if you want to give a, like I said, full names. Right? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pounce is closed. Hatim?
We have pounces from Udbhav, Suvansh, Kushagra and Garv.
Okay, so Suvansh, what is your guess?
Eleanor Roosevelt.
Eleanor Roosevelt was the wife of?
Franklin D. Roosevelt, FDR.
Correct. That's the correct answer. That'll give you +6 points. Eleanor Roosevelt is the answer. Right. Hatim, who has points?
So +6 to Suvansh, Kushagra and Garv. And -3 to Udbhav, who pounced before the answer was given, and he guessed he went with Jacqueline Kennedy.
Unfortunate. Right. It's not Jackie Kennedy. So Jackie Kennedy, the only helpful clue is the stamp is dated 1963 December. Jackie Kennedy would have been very young then because JFK had just died in November. So this is like a slightly older lady. So that would have probably helped. But yeah, this is Eleanor Roosevelt, and like Suvan said, she was the wife of FDR. Pranav, your question on screen right now. Simple question. What is the 2-word name of this festive thali? 2 words.
2 words.
Pranav, all yours.
Yeah, 2 words, right?
2 words, yes. That is what the question says.
Okay, I'm going to go with Kashmiri Wazwan.
Kashmiri Wazwan. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Not quite. Open on the bounce. You have 10 seconds. It's not the Kashmiri Wazwan. Although, yes, the Wazwan has a lot of dishes, but yeah, this is not the Wazwan. Okay, closing pounds in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hatim, do you have guesses?
We have only 1 guess from Suvansh.
Surprising. Suvansh, what's the answer?
Chappan Bhog.
We'll get you 6 points. Straightforward. And when is Schappenburg used?
I am not sure because I have heard about it a lot of times. I've wanted to eat it, but I only have an idea. It's somewhere in central India. That's the idea.
Schappenburg is typically used during Janmashtami and all that, right? So well done, but excellent answer. 6 points to you. Good job. Jatin, here's your question. Right. This is an either or question. You can either identify the poet or the 12th century religious text that the stamp pays tribute to. Obviously, the poet is responsible for the religious text. So either give me the poet's name or the name of this religious text. All yours, Jatin.
It might be some South Indian poet. I'm not able to remember name.
South Indian poet, okay. I can see you're clearly drawing lines here. But yeah, it's open on the pounds to everybody else. Again, you have 10 seconds and I will close soon. Pounds closing in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hatim, we have guesses?
We do not have any guesses.
Interesting. Okay, does anybody want to take a guess without risk of negs?
Okay, just thinking, could it be Jayadeva?
And what did he do?
The Krishna thing.
Sorry?
Something on Krishna, the 8.
Is there some the Bhakti movement? Is it the Bhakti movement? Something
about Krishna.
Is it Sursagar? Sursagar by
Sursagar, okay. Let's see.
Or the Bhakti movement, something.
Oh, Gita
Govinda. Yes.
Right, not any other work. Right, and yeah, so nobody gets points, unfortunately. Bit surprised. Okay, super. Right, this question is open on the pounds to everybody. You can give answers on DM to Hatim. What is this stamp depicting? Either you can explain it in a couple of words or you can give me one key word. Sorry, 1 or 2 keywords maybe. This is a 2020 stamp. Look at what's happening and you can either describe what's happening or give me a 2-word answer. 5 seconds left. Open to all. Open to all on +6 -3 to be very clear. 3, 2, 1. Hatim?
We have answers from Garv, Pranav, Abhineet, Kushagra, and Suvansh. Just a second.
Okay.
Also have answers from.
I have given the 2-word answer which they asked for. That we can give a 2-word answer as well.
Okay.
So I gave that. Yeah.
What is that 2-word answer?
Mission Shakti. It's the first satellite destruction missile, the one used to target.
Okay, perfect. That is the 2-word answer I was looking for. Right? Anti-satellite missile or Mission Shakti is also fine. Right? So yeah. Hatim, let's call out the points.
Okay, so points to Udbhav, Suvansh, Kushagra, Abhineet, Pranav, and Garv.
Oh, okay. So a lot of people scoring. Excellent. This question is open on the pounds to everybody. Simple question. Which ruler is the stamp depicting? Again, you have 10 seconds and I'm going to close. Five, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let us, Hatim, have we got all the bounces?
Just a second. We have 2 guesses, one from Kushagra and one from Garv.
Okay. Kushagra, what have you written?
I wrote Ashoka.
And Garv?
This is definitely Chandragupta Maurya.
Definitely Chandragupta Maurya, it seems. Okay, let's see the answer. It is indeed definitely Chandragupta Maurya. Well done. That's a +6 for you. Unfortunately, a -3 for Kushagra. Excellent answer. This is Chandragupta Maurya. Okay, let's go to the next round, which is our third and final round, anti-clockwise round. 12 questions, infinite bounds, anti-clock, starting with, I think we have only 8. So starting with 8. And 10 points per answer on bounce, same rules as earlier, part points, blah, blah. So first question of the round goes to Udbhav. Udbhav, here's your question. Few months ago, Ishant Sharma tweeted this. Watched a question pop up on KBC screen about hashtag Singh Sisters. I was like, I could have won that round easily. We'll show you the KBC question. You want to tell us what the correct answer is and why was Ishant so sure that he could answer this correctly, right? Let's go to the image. This is the image.
Okay, I know the answer.
And Prashanti Singh are sisters who all represent India with sport. You have 4 options there. So I want you to tell me what the answer to this question is and why.
Sorry to interrupt. I know the answer.
Okay, then go for it.
The correct answer is basketball, and Ishant is in a good position because his wife is a basketball player.
Who is this wife?
Sorry?
Who is Ishant's wife?
Okay, the name, I'm not sure of the name. I think it's one of the people in the question.
One of the people in the question is good enough. I'll give it to you. These are all Indian sisters who play basketball, and Ishant is incidentally married to one of them, right? That's why he said, I would have got full points on this. So Udbhav also gets full points, 10 points. Udbhav, well done. The next question goes to Shovansh. Shovansh is your question. Although he is now remembered for his aesthetic sense, in his youth, he was renowned for his battlefield abilities. In 1617, his father, the then emperor, sent him to the Deccan to fight the Lodhis. He was an instant success, effectively securing the southern borders of the empire. How did his grateful father reward him in an act that effectively sealed him as the next ruler? So it's not enough you give me his name. There's a little more explanation you have to do. So time frame is helpful. This is early 17th century. His father was an emperor, and the father sent him to the Deccan, to the south, to fight and secure the empire's southern boundaries. And he was a success. Because he was a success, his father rewarded him in a way. So I'll give you a clue. It's not that he gave him money or gave him some, jewels or anything of that sort. He rewarded him in another way. What way? So Ansh, all yours.
I'm gonna guess that the father is Akbar, and the son is the father is Jahangir, and the son is Shah Jahan.
Okay.
And his grateful father rewarded him by marrying him. Yeah.
The father married him. What are you saying?
The father married his son to.
Father married his son. Okay. To.
Got his son married to a woman who was.
But go on, yeah.
Yeah, like that marriage sealed his act as the next ruler. I know I'm rambling, but that's the best I could come up with.
You're very imaginative, but we can't take fantasies with history. But good guess. Okay. We'll pass to Pranav.
So the father is Jahangir.
Okay.
The son is Shah Jahan.
Okay.
And he was. Married.
He was married.
No, Jahangir allowed Shah Jahan to marry Mumtaz Mahal.
Okay. For very young people, you're obsessed with marriages. Let's move on. Nidish.
Okay, so I'm going to take a very wild guess here because Jahangir, father is Jahangir and son is Shah Jahan. Jahangir was very famous for his drinking habit. So maybe in celebrating the victory, he drank too much and probably got an infection that almost killed him, effectively making Shah Jahan the ruler.
So we've gone from marriage to a gruesome killing, but no, not quite. Let's go to Kushagra.
Yeah, all right. So actually, Shah Jahan wasn't called Shah Jahan. His name was Khurram, if I'm not wrong. The title of Shah Jahan was bestowed upon him.
Brilliant.
And Shah Jahan means king of the world.
That is the correct answer, right? So Jahangir's son was called Khurram, right? He was not born Shah Jahan, right? After this success, the emperor basically gave him the title Shah Jahan, which is like ruler of the world, right? And you're saying, you are going to be my successor, sort of thing, right? Brilliant answer. Take your 10 points, Kushagra. That is a superb answer, right? We had a lot of various other theories, but unfortunately, those are not right. No part points on this. Nobody else came close enough. So 10 points to Kushagra. Next question to Jatin. Jatin, all yours. In 2018, Kerala Tourism invested heavily in promoting an event happening in August to October that year. From August to October, right? 3 months roughly. One of the ways they did it was to highlight the beauty of this event when it happened in 1982, 1994, and 2006 through rare photos and in-depth videos explaining this event. What is this event? Read the question carefully. That's a very important clue. And take a guess. Jatin, all yours. Right. Others, please have your guesses ready. Jatin, I'm waiting for a guess.
Okay. For the guess, like for promoting the tourism, they might have organized a travel mart, sort of travel fair or something.
Okay. I will pass you to Garv.
Is this the Kerala State movie event, State Movie Festival?
State Movie Festival. Okay. Like I said, read the question carefully. There's a very important clue there. Abhineet?
Is it the National Games?
National Games, not quite. Udbhav?
The snake boat race.
Snake boat race. Okay. So
it is the blooming of the Neelkurinji flowers. It's the because 12-year gap between 82, 94, 2006, and then 2018.
Superb answer. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Well done. Well worked out. That is a clue. All these years are separated by 12. If you notice, 1982, 94, 2006, and 2018. This is the blooming of the Neelakurinji, right? These flowers which grow on the Nilgiris happens only once every 12 years, right? So it's a major event. Well spotted, Suvansh. Excellent answer. 10 points to you. Nobody else gets any points. And the next question to Pranav. Pranav, here's the question. In the 14th century, Firoz Shah Tughlaq compiled a list of his predecessors who had ruled Delhi. There was one notable omission from this list because, unfortunately, this person's historic reign was considered an embarrassment for everyone concerned. Who was omitted and what was so unique? And why was this person? What was so unique or why was this person omitted? Like in the entire list, basically this person's name itself was not there. Why?
So the person is Muhammad bin Tughlaq.
Okay.
And what is so unique is that he shifted his capital from Delhi to Daulatabad, and that caused a lot of problems for everywhere. And he was the only person who he shifted from Delhi to Tughlaqabad.
Okay. Yes, but no, that's not the answer. We will move to Nidish.
Yes, I'll go with Razia Sultana because she was a woman ruler, and at that time the Delhi Sultanate actually considered it an embarrassment to consider women as rulers.
Perfect, brilliant answer. That's what I'm looking for. This is Razia Sultana or Razia Sultan. She was the first woman to sit on the throne of Delhi, right? And unfortunately, at that time, all these men were not at all happy that to be ruled by a woman. So it was considered an embarrassment for the Delhi Sultanate that to be ruled by a woman, right? So sadly, her name was erased, but thankfully not from history. So well done, 10 points to Nidish. And the next question to Kushagra. In 2016, this Indian was named to Time magazine's list of 100 most influential people. She had reached the pinnacle of her sport in 2015, becoming the first Indian to do so. Right? The person who wrote a short article about her in Time magazine was a previous member of the list, right? For his performances in 2010. In it, he wrote, her parents probably knew what the future held for their daughter. Her name means brilliant. Who? What had she achieved that year? Which other icon wrote this entry? When I say she's the first Indian, I mean first Indian woman, to be clear.
Okay, so the Indian woman, I guess, is Priyanka Chopra because she acted in the Yeah, she acted in. She started acting in Hollywood. And the other icon, I'm not very sure, but I'm guessing Leonardo DiCaprio.
Leonardo DiCaprio. Okay, cool. I'll give you one more chance, and this is clear. Both are Indians. The other icon is also an Indian.
Is it Amitabh Bachchan?
Amitabh Bachchan. Okay, we'll pass you. This is Kushagra. So Jatin.
I suppose it is Sania Mirza.
Okay.
And she achieved the world #1 trophy with Martina Hingis in that year.
World #1 in what?
Women's doubles.
Okay.
And which other icon wrote this entry? He might be Leander Pace.
Leander Pace. Okay, nice guess. Passes to Garv.
The person is Priyanka Chopra for her Quantico appearance, and 2010 A.R. Rahman.
A.R. Rahman. Okay. Moves to Abhinit.
Is it Priyanka Chopra and Irfan?
What Irfan?
Irfan Khan.
Irfan Khan. What is the pinnacle achieved?
She had her Hollywood debut.
Okay.
And he did his Life of Pi and other Hollywood movies like around 2010. That's my guess.
I mean, I hope everybody has read the word. She has reached the pinnacle of her sport.
Yeah, right.
Can I?
But go on. Abhinit is over. Ubdwa.
Okay, so the 2016 person is Sania Mirza, who became world #1 in women's doubles.
Okay.
And the icon, I'm going for Sachin Tendulkar because he played well in 2010.
We'll get you the full 10 points. Well done. That is exactly what I'm looking for. This is Sania. She had become the world #1 in women's doubles. And yes, this is Sachin, right? Sachin had a great year in 2010 and then followed by winning the World Cup in 2011, right? So full 10 points to Udbhav. I'll give 6 points to Jatin because he gave me Sania Mirza and world #1 in doubles, right? Nobody else gets any points. Like I said, please read the question. Clearly it said sport, right? And people are saying Priyanka Chopra and being copied off also saying Priyanka Chopra. So read the question. There are enough clues in all the questions, right? So
How much, Jatin?
Sorry, Jatin gets 6 points.
Okay.
Suvan, here's your question.
Just a second. Jatin, can you always look at the screen and make sure that your arms are up at all times?
Yeah, I'm able to like this my hand and go close to read the question. It's that.
All right.
Right. Suvansh, here's your question. The Dalit writer Chandrabhan Prasad proposed the idea of celebrating Dash as a goddess. In her left hand, the goddess is depicted holding a book, perhaps the most significant book of our time. Who or what is this goddess? Basically, fill in the blank. Prasad says this goddess will help Dalits climb up the social and economic ladder. That's one part. The second part is what book is she holding? So to be clear, I am not looking for a Hindu or any other religious goddess, right? This is something else created because of what is described here. So Suvansh, all yours.
Okay, before Suvansh answers,
she's holding a pen in her hand, if that helps.
Okay. All right. Everyone, want to see your hands, both your hands. All right, at all times. So after hearing this, please don't keep your arm elsewhere. Alternatively, you can reposition your camera such that both your arms are seen, or you can, slightly change your seating. Maybe shift your laptop or your webcam in such a way that you are a bit far away so that we can know, we can see the whole picture, just like your arms, your notes and all that.
So can I? Yes, I'm sorry if my hand was down. I was coughing really bad. I have a COVID. I'm sorry. Yeah.
All right.
So, can I guess?
Okay. Yeah, sure.
So go on.
Okay. So it should be celebrating English language as a goddess because like she's holding a pen in her hand, and the book would be the Constitution of India, social and economic ladder. Yeah, celebrating English as a goddess, holding the constitution in her hand.
Exactly what I'm looking for. Brilliant answer. This is the goddess English, right? Because English is seen as a way for the Dalits out of the caste abuse they suffer here. And that is the Constitution of India, of course, written by perhaps the most famous member of the Dalit community, Dr. Ambedkar. So, brilliant answer, Suvansh. 10 points to you. And the next question goes to Pranav.
Just a second. Okay, so Jatin, can you just move your laptop or your device like a bit more farther so that even if your arm goes down involuntarily, we can see it
How
at all
many
times.
questions are left?
Okay.
Right. So, okay, moving on. So this is Suvansh's question. Moving to Pranav. Pranav, here's your question. These are instruments used for something that the Sikhs call jhatka. Their law states that, their Sikh religious law states that the only kind of meat Sikhs are allowed to consume are those that are procured in this fashion using these instruments. The idea of this is to reduce suffering. So what is required of jhatka meat? Or like what is jhatka? Just explain. Pranav, all you
probably, yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
So probably like to reduce the suffering, you can only eat an animal if you kill it very painlessly. That is with a single stroke of your sword or something like that.
Brilliant. I'll give it to you. That's exactly what I'm looking for. The idea is that whatever meat you are eating, it has to be killed with a single strike of your sword, right? Brilliant answer. Well done. That's a 10 points. Good, solid 10 points to Pranav, right? Well done, Pranav. The next question to Nidish. In 1992, New Delhi hosted the low-key wedding of Anupama Priyadarshini to a computer science engineer from the US. The bridegroom's father was special secretary to the prime minister, and the bride's father was secretary in charge of Kashmir affairs. Things were going smoothly when an uninvited guest popped in and scolded the two fathers for not inviting him. Who is this guest? Perhaps then the most well-known Indian of the time. And who was this bridegroom? Two parts. Just name the two people. Who is this guest who popped in and started scolding the two fathers? And who is this bridegroom, the then computer science engineer from the US? Nidish, all yours.
So first for the guest, I think I'll go with Rajiv Gandhi, the Prime Minister of India. And for the bridegroom, as a computer scientist from US, I think I'll go with Narayana Murthy.
N.R. Narayana Murthy of Infosys. Not quite. I will move to Kushagra.
Okay, so is the computer science engineer Satya Nadella, and the guest, the uninvited guest, the former Prime Minister P.V. Narasimha Rao.
Indeed, that is the right answer. Well done. Full 10 points to you. Right? This is P.V. Narasimha Rao. So Satya Nadella's father was the special secretary to the PM. Right? So and his wife's father was also working in a senior role in the government, but they didn't invite the prime minister. The prime minister actually popped in saying, how could you guys not invite me, etc. Right? So it's interesting that P.V. Narasimha Rao was part of the wedding of Satya Nadella. Well done. 10 points, Kushagra. That's full 10 points to you. Jatin, next question to you. Right. This Nobel Prize winning quantum physicist was also the first recipient of a prize given by UNESCO, which is named after a region in India, which has historical importance. The prize was created in 1952, following the donation by a famous political leader from the same region, as in the same region which has historical importance. This political leader is also known for his high-flying exploits. So name the prize and name the leader. So like I said, it's a region, it's not a state, right? We're looking for a region. If everybody is okay, I can give a clue. Unless nobody objects.
I think I know the answer, so I object.
Okay, good, fine. All right, so yeah, go for it. Jatin, this is yours. Name this prize, or basically name the region. And who is this leader? He's a former chief minister from the same region, from a state in the same region. He's known for his high-flying exploits. That should help.
Former Prime Minister.
Chief Minister.
Okay.
Let's hear your guess. Others, please keep your guesses ready.
Jatin's question, right?
Yeah, Jatin, quickly. You want to guess? Okay, I'm not getting a guess from Jatin.
You said that. What? You said that it is a chief minister.
Yes, chief minister.
He's very bad guess.
The most famous political leader from that state, I can tell you.
That's something related to Anna Hazare. Very bad guess.
Anna Hazare, okay. I will pass to Garv.
So is the leader Vijay Anand Patnaik?
Okay.
And the prize being the Kalinga Prize.
What's his name? What's this person's name?
Vijay Anand Patnaik.
Who's that?
The former chief minister of that region, Odisha.
Okay. Moving on.
Is it Biju Patnaik and Kalinga Prize?
Who is Biju Patnaik?
A former chief minister of Odisha. He saved the Indonesian prime minister during a protest. He's the father of the current chief minister of Odisha.
Who is the current chief minister of Odisha?
Naveen Patnaik.
Right. That will get you the full 10 points. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Right? Biju Patnaik and the Kalinga Prize. So 10 points. Who said Kalinga Prize first?
I said Vijay Anand Patnaik and Kalinga Prize.
I didn't hear what you said. What
I said Vijay Anand. I said Vijay Anand, his full name.
Okay, fine. My bad. I heard Vijay Anand and I got completely confused.
No.
Fine. So then my bad. I'll give you the full 10 points. Please take the 10 points. Sorry.
Thank you.
Sorry for the confusion. Right. So that is Garv's. That was Garv.
Can you tell me how many questions are left?
Just 1 second. Hold on, please. Hatem, did you get the points correctly?
Yeah, 10 points only to Garv.
Correct. 10 points only to Garv. That's right. Correct. Right. There are 3 questions left. So, by the way, who's the scientist? Any idea?
Is it blank? Is it blank?
No.
Louis de Broglie.
Yeah, this is Louis de Broglie. Correct. This is Louis de Broglie. Right. So, yeah. So 10 points to Garv and next question to Abhineet. In December 1915, Maharaj Gulab Singh of Dash caught a 2-year-old cub. It was then stuffed and sent as a gift to King George V as a sign of his loyalty. In 1951, Singh's son Martan Singh captured another cub. The Maharaja named it Mohan and it became famous across the world. In 2016, capitalizing on this, the MP government tried to popularize a dash safari as being the first in the world. And then it was pointed out that the Orissa government had been doing it since 1991. What creature is this? Looking for a 2-word blank, which is basically the second set of blanks. Which place, now a famous reserve, was it captured from?
The white tiger and Rewa.
Brilliant answer. That's exactly what I'm doing. Superb answer. Well done. Full 10 points to you, Abhineet. Well done. White tiger and Rewa gets the full 10 points. And the next question goes to Udbhav. We'll show you the election results from the 1980 Lok Sabha elections from a constituency called Medak in Andhra Pradesh. The winner, as expected, was the biggest leader in the country at the time. In 5th place was a woman whose calculations did not quite come out successful this time around. Who are the 2 candidates whose names are blanked out? On top, it says Indian National Congress, total votes 3 lakhs, 67% of the vote. Number 5 is a woman, independent, but got only 6,500 votes. So, Udbhav, this is your question.
Yeah, so the winner is Indira Gandhi, and the person who was last is Shakuntala Devi.
Brilliant answer, right? That's the full 10 points. This is Indira Gandhi who won. And interesting enough, Shakuntala Devi was stood for an election to oppose Indira Gandhi there.
Is the constituency Amethi or what? Is it Amethi now?
No,
it's Medak.
Not Amethi. She is not standing in Amethi. Right? So 10 points to Udbhav. Well done. And the next question go to Suvansh. Suvansh, your question. This is the last question of the quiz. So no time for score check. Hope all of you enjoyed the quiz, right? This is the finals of our Chai Latte school quiz. And the final question to Shivansh coming up. Right. This work is about Ambedkar's and Gandhi's clashing views on caste. One blank is an earned honorific used by Ambedkar. The other refers to the way people viewed Gandhi, especially the near religious devotion he inspired. What are the two words? These are regular English words. One is 6 letters, one is 5 letters.
I'm going to guess. Yeah, I'll guess. I know the second part, which would be, I think, saint,
okay,
the dash and the saint.
Okay.
The first would be doctor, the doctor and the saint, or yeah, the doctor and the saint. That's what I'm going to guess.
The doctor and the saint. We'll get you 10 points. Well done. It is indeed doctor and the saint, right? Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, and Gandhi was kind of viewed as a saint by many Indians during the time, right? So well done. Excellent answer, Shivansh. Pulled it out of nowhere. So time for final scores. I will take that from Hatim. Hatim, let's see the scores. Right. Final scores of the Chai Latte finals. Eighth today from more than 150 participants is Abhineet with 25. Next up is Nitish with 30. Well done, Nitish. On 38 is Udbhav. Well done, Udbhav. On 40 points are two people, Kushagra and Pranav. Well done to both of you. Right. Finishing third today with 47 points is Jatin. Well done, Jatin. Finishing on the podium with 47 points. Finishing second on practically the last question, jumping over Jatin and getting a second, is Suvansh with 55. Well done, Suvansh. Great job. But winning the quiz clearly with a clear, comfortable margin is Garv with 62 points, the winner of Chai Latte 2020. Excellent job, Garv. Congrats.
Thank you.
Superb job. That was the finals of Chai Latte School. Thank you guys so much. Hope you enjoyed the quiz. Right? We'll be back with more quizzes soon enough, hopefully. Right? Do let us know how you thought of it. Hatim is always in touch with you guys. So let us know what you thought of it. Right? Thank you. Hope you have a good day and see you soon. Bye-bye.